Hi people, Chilli here from Live Listen Erased, and on this episode of 5 Minute Review, I go into Helloween's new album, Helloween. The opening track for this album is Out for Glory. The 80s metal scene is back, and in full force with this intro track. Out for Glory sets to recreate some nostalgia with the sound of this track going back old school days. A great opener hinting what the band is out for with dueling vocals and guitars. It was a surprise to hear the Halford-like screams in the track that Andreas can masterfully do. It's also great to hear dueling guitar solos in this 7-minute epic of an opener. The next track is Fear of the Fallen. A deceptive acoustic opener gives way to a heavier riff as it pummels you into the power metal scene Helloween is akin to. The bridges return to acoustics to offer a sort of reprise that is welcome in this scenario and masterfully done. A great follow-up track to the opener. The next track is Best Time. The most commercially accessible song from this album still rocks. It's short and to the point, which is that I will have the best time of my life. Despite its generic riff, it's still elevated into new heights with Michael Kiske taking lead vocals. The next track is Mass Pollution. Anyone slapper to bass? Heavier tone for bass intro is welcoming as the song launches into gear with Andreas' raspy vocals leading this song about the state of the world, and of course it's Mass Pollution, which fits his style of vocals suitably well. Overall, it's an okay track. Angels is the follow-up track, and this one takes a more modern sound with heavier distortion and heavier riffs compared to most of the tracks on the album. The bass line is fluid in parts, in particular during the solo, and is almost Dream Theater-esque in sound and in parts. A decent track here that builds until its end. The next track is Rise Without Chains. Bang your heads, cause here's the epic thrashy sounds here. It's tracks like these that reminisce of differences between the European and American metal scenes, and the epic build in Rise Without Chains is here in suit. Rolling drum fills, a powerful bass rhythm that works well with the song, and dueling guitar solos that seem to go on forever. Very nice. The next track is Indestructible. No, not the Disturbed album, the Helloween track. A song to unite the fans, and I'm sure will be great in a live setting, but this song feels a bit flat in the studio setting. I can see a crowd singing this, and maybe a chorus section could have been done with no instruments, and instead a crowd chant to add to that atmosphere. That's my thoughts on the track anyway. The following track is Robot King. Okay, the thrash is unleashed here on this track with a great drum fill at fast pace at the beginning. Andreas and Michael Kiske take turns singing in this song, and it's an interesting way to hear them. The song is in style to classic Helloween and a bit new Helloween, with a decent breakdown at the halfway point to a slow build-up. Another decent track here. Cyanide is the following track. Gotta be the heaviest track on this album in tone with rhythmic drumming. For me, it's got moments that shine, but overall, I would miss this track. Down in the Dumps is the track that follows. A string section builds this track up, and guitars play ominously before it erupts into life. This track is definitely more modern in sound, save for Michael's voice. This is another track I would skip. The following track is Orbit, and this is a guitar instrumental that serves as the intro to Skyfall. The last track is Skyfall, and here we are, the last track at hand, and thus begins this 12-minute epic with a beautiful vocal and guitar duet which transitions to a short bass and drums rhythm, and the song blasts with its riffs into place. The pieces are set, the drums are galloping, the vocals are soaring, and the guitars are chugging. Michael and Andreas once again take turns in singing the first parts of the song. A musical shift in style tells of something alien probing the person at the tail before a small guitar part changes the tone again to a sense of dread and tension and a mention of Hangar 18. Alien-like voices are heard in the background before another style change as the song slows down before it builds again to its original guitar riff, albeit some changes and tempo change, and the song reaches its crescendo when the vocals are in another higher key registry. This right here is the ultimate song from the album, and it's well worth the listen. It's great to hear from the Mad Lads at Helloween again. A formidable band crazy enough to do a cover of the track Hocus Pocus by Focus is one to keep an eye on. Keeping one foot rooted in their past sounds and the other in present is their sound still of old yet new, and for most of the part they haven't used the techniques of down-tuned guitars and more effects pedals like most of their contemporaries. It can be done, don't get me wrong, but as Michael Kiske is back, and alongside with Kai and Andreas without losing too much of his top range, why change it if it is working? Most important tracks on this album are Out for Glory, Best Times, and Skyfall. Overall, I give the album a 7 out of 10, as these German speed metal gods have made a great album here, with only a small lull towards the end of the album that lets it down.